All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Day 7? No, 8. 8. Day 8 of my Halloween horror movie review 31-day challenge. This is interesting. It's funny. You never realize until you do like challenges like this how long 31 days is, because it feels like I've done a lot of reviews, and I'm like, dang, it's only been 8. I still got a ways to go, but it's all good. We're having a good time. I like doing these kind of challenges. It's actually my first time, but I'm having a good time doing it. But anyway, with this review, I wanted to go back to a movie that, in my opinion, I believe is one of the best horror movies in the last 10 years. In my opinion, it's one of my favorites. It's not the best, but in the last 10 years, this is the one I really enjoyed. And I haven't seen it in a while, but after watching it again, I was like, man, I really enjoyed this one more than I thought I would. And it's Scream 6. I actually got the physical copy right here. So yeah, just finished it. And I don't think that movie gets enough praise that I believe it should. Yes, we know like the first one's the classic, and everybody has their opinions on all the other ones. I enjoy all of them just to a certain degree, a certain level. But 6, the direction they took with them being in New York and, seeing Ghostface with a shotgun. I hope they bring more diversity to Ghostface like that. Not no science fictional stuff, please. Do not let it be a Ghostface where, like Jason X, where he's an alien or something like that. I ain't saying all that. That's too far. But like shotguns and like in a big city, I like that. Mix it up a little bit. But is it the best one? I wouldn't say that. The first one, especially not knowing what Scream was about, that really took me for a wild ride. But anyway, now Scream 6, in case you haven't seen it, it's been out for how long? Like 2 years now, right? Yeah, 2023. So it's been out for 2 years. But in case you didn't see it, this movie carries on from Scream 5. So two sisters played by Jenna Ortega and what was her name? Melissa Barrera. Sorry if I said that name wrong. And then Jenna Ortega. They play the Carpenter sisters. After surviving the situations that happened in Scream 5, the Carpenter sisters decided to go to New York and start a whole new life. But Sam Carpenter, who's the oldest out of the sisters, is still paranoid and is dealing with a lot of trauma from what happened in Scream 5. So she's on edge while still trying to build this new life, while Jenna Ortega's character is literally using her trauma to just go and, go crazy out there in New York. Meet random guys, have fun with her friends, all that other stuff. But then they get the news that the horrors that chased them in Scream 5 has followed them to New York. Now, the biggest question is, as it is for every other Scream movie, is who is this individual that's following them all the way from Scream 5 to now? And what's their agenda? Is it for revenge of what happened in the last movie, or is it for something else? Because the Carpenter sisters are pretty popular. The news that happened in the last movie traveled with them, so they are bumping into a lot of people that's remembering them for something that happened in Scream 5. So they are pretty popular. So the question remains, is it somebody that's from the old times that's coming back to try to get them? Or is it somebody that's having this fantasy, this thrill that's new in New York and carrying out these horrors for the Carpenter sister? So you don't know. And I believe they do a really good job in keeping it a mystery of that question. Not knowing if it's a new villain or is it somebody old. Now, one of the good things I love about this movie is, like I just said, how they bring New York and more diversity of, when it comes to the kills of Ghostface in here. One of my favorite scenes, if not the favorite scene. Is it the favorite scene? Yeah, I'll have to say it. My favorite scene is when Ghostface first approaches the Carpenter sisters and, out of nowhere, and the Carpenter sisters run into this snack shop, and there's other people, civilians. Like I said, it's New York. Anybody knows New York. New York is packed with people. And in this shop, people are looking at these sisters like, what are y'all doing? Like two girls going in after crazy. He's trying to kill us and all this stuff. And when Ghostface goes in the snack shop, I love that scene. How he approaches not just the sisters, but anybody else that gets in their way. Like he's aiming to go at the sisters. And anybody else that's in that store, you're in the way, and I am not going to hesitate to do what I need to do. I really like that scene. It brought a different kind of intensity, a different feel with Ghostface that I haven't had in other movies. And I liked it. There are some dumb moments, like I'll never forget that clerk the clerk in the store, he had the advantage against Ghostface. He had the shotgun pointed, but I don't know why people do this in these movies. They be like, "Hey," and then shoot. It's like, yeah, why would you tell them where you're at? Why would you like give them that alert? The store clerk had Ghostface, and because he's like, "Hey," Ghostface turned around and ducked and got away, and winds up killing the dude. Now Ghostface has the shotgun. As much as I like that scene, I hate when moments like that happen. But you get used to it because that happens in a lot of movies. Hey, it's like, yeah, give your enemies a heads up. That was always dumb to me. But still, that scene was, yeah, I believe it was one of the best scenes for me, is because it's that one and the train scene, subway, is like one of my best scenes, is because it was something different and it worked. I know the shotgun was mixed bag for some people. Some didn't like it. I ain't that kind of person where it has to be the same thing every movie. No, after, 5 or 6 movies, I want to see a little diversity here. And I think they brought it and it worked. It worked. Same thing with the subway scene. I love how, by the way, this movie is during the Halloween season. So a lot of people in New York are wearing costumes. And there's one scene in the train where everybody's wearing different costumes. There's also a nice amount of people wearing Ghostface suits because, like I said, the sisters are popular for what happened in Scream 5, but also Ghostface. So, because of that, people are just wearing it for entertainment purposes for Halloween. But it makes the heroes of this movie, I guess you want to call it, so uneasy because we're surrounded by all these people. It's New York, it's packed. And these people are wearing suits. Is this the killer Ghostface, or is this people just wearing the costumes? I like that. I always like it. And with the setup they do, the execution, I believe, was done very well. Now, are there moments to where it's like, okay, how did Ghostface do that? Yes, but in my opinion, I think every Scream movie had those kind of moments where it was like, whoa, how did he get there? But it's a movie, so you can look past it. It's a horror movie, and it's not too ridiculous. Like I said, when you watch the other ones, you get used to stuff like that. One thing I do love that they keep going with this is the vulnerability of Ghostface. The movie does a good job to let you know that this person is not like a trained killer, some John Wick in a Ghostface suit. My goodness, thinking about that, can you imagine if John Wick was Ghostface? How are you stopping that? But anyway, I love the fact that Ghostface is a regular civilian in a suit. So they be getting hit by the random things, like when Ghostface was attacking Jenna Ortega, like grabbed her, Jenna Ortega hit him in the face, and different things. They'll throw something at Ghostface, Ghostface trips. I always love that about it. I never forget when I first watched Scream, I always thought it was weird. But then I started to love it because I'm like, no, this is not a Jason or Michael Myers where they're just indestructible, just going straight to you. No, this is a regular human being with a lot of flaws, not a trained killer. I always like that. So they still bring the horror aspect, like Ghostface is tough to beat, but it's still that opening to where it's like, no, I can't overpower you. I can't overpower you. I will say that's one thing I didn't like in this movie because they had too many scenes like it. Back to the flaws of Ghostface. One thing that annoyed me was there was a lot of moments where our heroes, not just the sisters, but the friends that they was hanging around, they overpowered Ghostface. They knocked him down. All you have to do is finish the job. Double tap like Zombieland. Knock him down and then finish it up. There would be moments where I'm like, why did you run away? There you go. Finish him off. Take the mask off. Now you can know who it is because, like I said, Scream, if for those who don't know, Scream is a mystery as well of who is the killer. That is your moment. The Ghostface dropped the knife. Ghostface is usually, Ghostface is literally helpless right now. Why don't you finish the job, take off the mask, and know what's going on? But they don't do that. So it is funny. It's not just this movie, it's the other Scream movie that does that as well. But it still doesn't take away the fact of how fun this is. And I believe with everything, the plot, executions, the characters, because not just the sisters, but Hayden Panettiere coming back, the other characters, the brother and sister, I believe it was done well. The chemistry is done well. The horror aspect in the city of New York and how Ghostface is able to get away with some of these kills without people noticing, I think was done perfectly. Well, not perfectly, but it was enjoyable. So yeah, well, there is something I do want to talk about with Scream 6 is I heard that in Scream 7, the sisters are not coming back, the Carpenter sisters. Jenna Ortega and I forgot her name. You know what I'm talking about. They opted out of it. This is just what I'm hearing. So when Scream 7 comes out, they're not coming back. I felt some type of way about it. I was like, dang, I don't know. I don't really research stuff like that. Why, they're not coming back. But I was a little disappointed when I heard. I was like, dang, they're not coming back. That's unfortunate. What are they going to do with this one? They're going to bring Sydney back? I can see that. I can see them doing it. But at the same time, after thinking about it and then seeing this movie again, like I haven't seen it in a while, so it was nice to see it again. But after watching it again, I like the ending of the Carpenter sisters. Both sisters, the one dropped the mask and they walked off together. They're alive. They're starting their life over again. It's over. Like, Scream 6 was a good ending for the Carpenter sisters. As much as I want them to come back, that was literally a good ending. I wouldn't want to watch the 7th one and see one of them get killed. You know what I'm saying? So, as much as I was disappointed at first hearing that they're not coming back, I actually liked it because their story is over. It's complete. Books closed. Nobody died. Like, when it comes to them two, they can move on with their lives. She dropped the mask. The camera zooms in on the mask. That's it. So, I'm cool with that. I wonder what they're going to do with 7. Is 7 going to be, going back to some of the older characters in the movies, or are they starting over? Like, having some new people in the franchise. Personally, I think they should just start with Scream. Start over. The whole franchise. Not Scream 7, Scream 8, I think they should just start fresh. But that's just me. Anyway, that is day 8 of my Halloween horror movie review challenge. 31-day challenge. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'll see you later.